What's going on, everybody? Time for YouTube recap. Another decent day here. Build in, top steps, the big account, you name it. So I'll try to give you guys a little bit of an example here on the Twitter, the X, right? But what we do here in the Discord. So as you can see here, we have a opportune move posted out at 4:12 in the morning. Looking for a golden pocket target entry, and then coming up to that algo long. But I'll get into that in a second here. But we did call off and nail off a big premium move on that. So give us a follow, give us a chance. I'll go bring up the Discord chat right now. So as it says right here, I have a trade plan for what we see in the breakout, right? So 10 SMA tag long entry number 2, golden pocket tag long entry, right? Fib your high low, so showing you where to draw your Fibonacci box, and then going for rolling target up is the 5-minute 666 on the NQ. So drawing out an entire trade plan, labeling it, and then obviously going on and narrating the entire trade plan, giving you guys exactly what the trade entries and exits look like. And as we came into this right here, golden pocket was the tag call right here before it happened. We were calling it right here at 4:15 in the morning or so. And it was going to come back down and tag that potential 10 SMA and golden pocket, which it did perfectly right here. And 666 is in the purple right here. That is our target. As we called in the picture, I go on to explain a whole bunch of other stuff, and it actually went much longer than anticipated. But let's get into the trade day here. So on the top step accounts, we are 2100 plus green. So we could start here. We do have an algo system, which we do have an opportunity to kind of come back and long on. This is a interesting drought, long to short, right? And it was being pretty crazy. So back here, I want to go into the 10 SMA and high-low fibs that we were looking at back here. So 4 in the morning, this is where we started the day. And I just want to go back and show you guys, this was the high-low fib right here that I was using. And I said it would come back down, tag the golden pocket, which we did right here, and long to the 666, which it boosted past a little bit, which no big deal. The long call was developed off of our moving average strategy, where you've seen price action kind of fumble down, double bottom, mounts the 10 SMA, and then you go long into a 10 SMA tag. Or if you got a beautiful high-low and you know how to fill these Fibonacci boxes up like we do so much, to come down to the golden pocket long, to push back over, then hit your target 666, so on and so forth. That's what got us a lot of our big gains here this morning. So let's get into some of the other trade static plans here. We're going to bring down Think or Swim and go through the entire breakdown for today and what we had on deck, right? So SPY was the big trader today. Told everybody to keep on SPY, and we're most likely going to go down to the 50 SMA, right? Now, 50 SMA daily is right here in the intraday chart. We have that coded from the daily. So this level is a daily 50 SMA on the dashed red there. It's just on the 5-minute chart. So as we come into this orange zone, we have my Fibonacci golden pocket, and how we draw these are a little different every week. And sometimes I show them, sometimes I don't. This one, we oranged out the zone, and why we picked it was definitively from the high-low of the gap down candle on the daily chart, right? So we have the gap down on the daily chart. We can look at that. Huge gap down. We have the high-lows from this candle still in working order, right? So this was Thursday's high-low Fibonacci. This is Friday's engulfing, okay? And then today's, well, we were short biased underneath the golden pocket into the 100 fib. This was the original trade plan for the morning. This was the macro vision, and we needed to get down into the 50 SMA daily before it bounced, right? No problem at all. And why did we think 50 SMA was going to bounce and loop? Well, it's because we actually shied it back on Thursday, last couple seconds of the market day. So if I zoom in Thursday, look at that. Low of Thursday, 50 SMA, left a magnet and what I like to call first tags, right? And first tags are something I look for in algos, Fibonacci's, moving averages, and so on and so forth. So as we got a first tag here, we were going to get a bounce around that 50. So obviously broke through the 50 a little bit and the bounce. But for the trade plan today for the short, let's talk about entries and exits. So anything into the orange box that was the daily Fibonacci, right, was short zone, unless it broke out of zone and really took off, or maybe pre-market high. That would have been about the highest we'd seen. So we opened the push it hits a very nice extension to the downside. Both short targets that I had this morning where we needed a dump, and then it doesn't matter what it does. Now, those targets came from Friday's algorithms. Now, I explained this a lot, but I'll explain it one more time. The high-low Fibonacci of the data candle. This is the 730 box for the data. And then we have an algo that was developed right after that data candle that went a little lower. The price action from Thursday and Friday had left open a gap in price action. So if you drew a Fibonacci box on either one of these, price action held the golden pocket because we said long right here on Friday and we're going to boost up, and we nailed the long because we had a halfway point on the data candle. So if you were to draw your fib right here, this was literally the 50 and some change for the golden pocket on the SPY, and off she went to the long call. Again, leaving data down here to fill. So today I wanted to see a magnet short down to 570.34, 569.79, and then whatever happens after that happens, right? Well, we pushed into both short targets. Here they are today, right here and right here. And we got that from Friday pre-market on the algorithms. They will always kind of return back, especially when we have it engulfing on Friday. So we put in the lower high on the daily, came into this setup, and now the orange zone is the Fibonacci from the gap down Thursday candle, right? And we had this push into golden pocket and failed. Now look at the trend. SPY was trading very good here, as it always does outside of Qs. High, lower low break, lower high, and the dump ski, right? MACD was giving you signals, RSI was giving you signals, and we called the reverse and short all the way down, and it worked out very well on NQ as well. But the initial plan for the day has come to fruition and has killed it down to the 50, and now we'll pop all the way back up, find lower high, and most likely calculate and continue down because we have been macro bearish on the daily chart, weekly chart for quite some time, last couple weeks explaining this dump. But the intraday magnets for day trading also come into play a lot of the time for our scalp trading. So as we came into the orange zone, we lower high, lower load. Fibonacci was perfect from the daily chart, and our target was the 50. So we had a really good opening morning short right here that came down to target. We did 14 points there, ended up holding this, and I said we needed a reset, right? So nothing goes in a straight line in the stock market. So just because we had our short targets hit right here, it doesn't mean everything's just going to reverse off that and go back to a long trend. We were exhausted here, as you can see by the RSI was in the overcool, and MACD was really getting to that downside, right? So being so cold here and oversold and coming into short targets all at the same time, that's going to create a bounce off those levels, or at least a high percentage chance too. Now pushing into our orange zone right here where the fib is, and then creating a consolidation bearish metric as the MACD rolls over, as the RSI rolls over, as we are looking for, because we shied it right here. We did not tag that 50 SMA daily, right? We were going to come back down eventually, and then we'll have a reversal move. Well, perfect setup on SPY there, perfect way back down, perfect trade plan, hit on the 50. Great. That was for our Discord. We have that all typed out in chat. We played a lot of the in-betweens today, and last but not least, we'll show you the volatility index on the recap right here. This is also the gap candle on the VIX. And what I was talking about today, we have an old gold level. It's 2190. It's a very big over-under on the volatility index. The VIX washed out a little bit this morning and came into deviations and a golden 2190 level. And this thing has been on for quite some time. And every time it has a reaction with this thing, it's years old too. This level was made years ago, and it still has algorithmic activity this far past. So 2190 on VIX. Has just great sense of support resistance continuation. Not to mention the fibs that we got on the daily. So again, the VIX came back down into that golden pocket in 2190, popped, finally snapping upwards again, seeing the MAC cross, RSI oversold. All good metrics to have that VIX pop up and have the market come down to that 50 SMA on the daily chart for SPY. So now with what we have left on the day here, we can see, as we were talking about before, this is our first tag in the 50 in a while, and I still think we're going to go through it, but obviously the bounce, because we missed it, this is our first tag we've had in quite some time on the 50, so we knew that was going to bounce, and we knew the magnet was going to be strong, and that's why we were short macro. But now that we have a lower low in sequence, now you look for the lower high, right? So this is the prior low, new low. It's got to push back up for the next lower high in sequence, right? And that can confirm off VWAPs, moving averages, so on and so forth. But right now, again, you're coming into that scenario where you're overcooled on a lot of that stuff, and nothing goes in a straight line in the market. And that is going to pose for a reset. So a reset is going to look like our MACD resetting back up. RSI is going to come to that 50. MACD is going to get across all the way back up. And mainly we'll look for something like this, where it puts in another lower high in the MAC and then sets up for something that looks like that on the break. Now, to continue hard panic, we really need to get through 568.50. This is the weekly low from last week. So that's something to keep in mind, where we see 568.85 being something of a huge over under level as well, because this is the weekly bottom. Okay, this teal level from the last week. Now, with that hit, along with the first tag of the 50 in a while, that was going to be an obvious up. And then we're just going to look for the lower high continuation and continue on to the target that I've been calling for a while, is the 100 EMA daily. So the SPY should be coming down here. It's at 557.23 right now. We're going to see how the week persists, and any pops are continued shorts, as we've been discussing on the macro. So if you find any value in these videos, you want to trade live with me every single morning, come check it out. The link is in the description. You want to support the channel in another way through Apex Trading. We got TG33 as a code. You can sign up with Apex Trading account, support for the channel to make these videos and to make these a little bit more fun. To support the channel is just something that I appreciate a ton. So with that being said, awesome. We'll see you in chat. And if not, we'll catch you on the next video. Take care.